The bomber that flew so low over Akagi no one could shoot. From the bridge of the carrier Akagi, Vice Admiral Chuichi Nagumo had spent months watching American ships die at comfortable distances. His Zeros pounced on enemies high in the sky. His torpedo planes lanced in at sea level. His anti-aircraft guns filled the empty spaces between. But at 7:10 on June 4, 1942, he saw something no Japanese admiral expected to see. An American B-26 bomber, racing toward his flagship at mast height, down at 50 feet above the waves. First Lieutenant James Murray wrestled the controls of Susie Q, a Martin Marauder that was never meant for this kind of work. The aircraft was heavy with a torpedo it had no business carrying, designed for high-level bombing, not for skimming through salt spray under the arcs of naval guns. In the nose, Bombardier Russell Johnson watched the long foredeck of Akagi grow larger by the second. Zeros carved white trails overhead. Anti-aircraft shells burst in black flowers all around. The plan on the chalkboard had been simple. Approach low, release torpedo, break away. Reality looked different. Shells had already punched holes through wings and fuselage. Smoke poured from the radio compartment. Gunners in the waist and tail were wounded. The top turret was jammed. At 1,000 yards, Navigator Moore shouted the final run. 5 seconds. 4, 3. The torpedo dropped at 800 yards. The bomber kicked up, lighter but suddenly naked. Every Japanese gun captain on Akagi and her escorts now saw one vulnerable target alone in front of them. Fire converged on Susie Q from all directions. Rounds tore through both engines. Hydraulic fluid sprayed the fuselage. Half the cockpit instruments went dark. In that instant, most pilots would have yanked the aircraft away, trying to drag the wreck back out to sea. Murray saw something different. He was already too low for the heavy guns on the sea area to depress onto him. If the destroyers and cruisers kept firing, their shells would slam straight through Akagi herself. So instead of turning away from danger, he drove straight into it. He pulled the nose a little higher, aimed for the carrier's port bow, and rode a shaking B-26 up over the foredeck with less than the height of a man between his belly and the planks. For 3 long heartbeats, an American bomber roared the length of Japan's proudest carrier. So low that every gunner on every escort ship had to take his finger off the trigger, or risk killing his own admiral in the blast.